So by now we've seen equations in exponential form. And in exponential form, we always have a base number, an exponent, and a value. The exponent is telling us how many times the base is being multiplied to itself. So we have a base, an exponent, and a value. And in an exponential equation, the exponent is what we're going to call the input. And the value is what we're calling the output. So you put in a number, the input, how many times you're multiplying the base, you get out the output, the value. So for example, you put in 3 when the base is 2, you get 8. 5 to the power of 4, 625. For logarithm form, we are describing the inverse function of this exponential form. And the inverse is going the other way. When you put in the output, you get the input. So rearranging exponential form, we get log of something, log something of something equals something. Okay? So we take log the base, so the log base, okay? And we're putting in the value. Log base value equals the exponent. And what I want you guys to notice here is that in a logarithm function, the input is now the value. And the output is the exponent. So in other words, the logarithm form is the inverse of the exponential form, because the thing that comes out of the exponential form is what you're putting in the logarithm form. So log is basically the inverse operation of an exponent. So if we are to rearrange these exponential forms into logarithm form, we basically identify the base, the exponent, and the value, and rearrange it as such. So for example, 2 to the power of 3 equals 8. Well, to go the other way, I use a logarithm. The base is now 2, so log base 2 of what is the value. The value here is 8. Log base 2 of 8 equals the exponent. The exponent is 3. And this makes sense because 2 cubed equals 8. But for a logarithm form, we're not the output of 8 is now the input of the logarithm. I'm going to do this one here. 5 to the power of 4 equals 625. 4 is my input. 625 is my output. I'm going to rearrange it in logarithm form to find the inverse. Log base, the base over here is 5. Log base 5 of the value is 625. Log base 5 of 625 equals the exponent, which is 4. The last example is I'm only using variables. B to the power of x equals y. In math, we like to say that x is the input and y is the output, which is why I chose these variables. I'm going to rearrange it to logarithm form. Log base. The base is b. It's not a number, it's a variable, but we're still going to use it. Log base b of y, because y is the value, equals x. And the last example is the clearest one to see, the input-output. The x is the input, the y is the output in exponential form. But when we use logarithm form, they're switched. Y is now the input, and x is the output. So basically, rearranging from exponential form and logarithm form is very important, especially when we're doing inverse functions.